Donald Trump at a microphone is like a blender with no lid. When you turn it on, you know it's going to be a cacophony of chaos and result in a bunch of messy splatters. And he did not disappoint today, but the best moment was when a reporter confronted him with a creepy nickname. I have the odd moment, a moment that was so spectacular it made Secretary of State Marco Rubio break down in laughter, coming up. The scene was a press conference at the NATO summit in the Netherlands. Let's set the stage with Trump still hot under the collar about the media reports that suggest his obliteration narrative about the Iran nuclear facilities isn't exactly true. Watch as he makes up a story about the emotional state of the pilots and then unloads on CNN, MSNBC, and the New York Times.
Did you know I got a call from Missouri, great state, that I won 3 times by a lot. And I got a call that the pilots and the people on the plane were devastated because they were trying to minimize the attack. And they all said it was hit. But we don't think it was really maybe hit that badly. And they were devastated. They put their lives on the line, and then they have, and I'm not referring to you, but real scum come out and write reports that are as negative as they could possibly be. It should be the opposite. You should make them heroes and heroines. You should make them really people that they were so devastated when they heard this news. And you know what they said? One of them, I spoke to one of them, he said, "Sir, we hit the site. It was perfect. It was dead on." Because they don't understand fake news, because they have a normal life, except they have to fly very big, very fast planes. But it's a shame. You should be making them heroes.
Next, attack dog Pete Hegseth is let off his leash and gets in on the act with a scolding of the media that is as comical as it is dramatic. Have a look, and on the other side, I'll share the weird Trump nickname moment and the hilarious Rubio reaction.
There's a reason the president calls out fake news for what it is. These pilots, these refuelers, these fighters, these air defenders, the skill and the courage it took to go into enemy territory flying 36 hours on behalf of the American people and the world to take out a nuclear program is beyond what anyone in this audience can fathom. And then the instinct of CNN, the instinct of the New York Times is to try to find a way to spin it for their own political reasons, to try to hurt President Trump or our country. They don't care what the troops think. They don't care what the world thinks. They want to spin it to try to make him look bad based on a leak. Of course, we've all seen plenty of leakers. And what do leakers do? They have agendas. And what do? Do they share the whole information or just the part that they want to introduce? And when they introduce that preliminary report that's deemed to be a low assessment, you know what a low assessment means? Low confidence in the data in that report. And why is there low confidence? Because all of the evidence of what was just bombed by 12 30,000-pound bombs is buried under a mountain, devastated and obliterated.
And now for the creepy nickname moment that I promised. Watch as the NATO chief blurts out the word that sycophant MAGA influencers sometimes use to describe their idol, and then a reporter confronts Trump with it, much to Marco Rubio's odd delight.
I mean, we may do papers on it, Marco. Maybe we're going to do papers. I don't even know if you need them. They're not going to be fighting each other. They've had it. They've had a big fight, like 2 kids in a schoolyard. You know, they fight like hell. You can't stop them. Let them fight for about 2-3 minutes, then it's easier to stop them.
And then Daddy has to sometimes use strong language to
You have to use strong language. Every once in a while, you have to use a certain word.
I think we have to join the others.
Mark Rutte, the NATO chief, who is your friend, he called you Daddy earlier. Do you regard your NATO allies as kind of children?
No, he likes me. I think he likes me. If he doesn't, I'll let you know. I'll come back and I'll hit him hard, okay? No? He did it very affectionate. Daddy, you're my daddy.
Do you regard your NATO allies, though, as kind of like children, and they're obviously listening to you and they're spending more, and you're obviously appreciative of that, but do you hope that actually they're going to be able to defend themselves, defend Europe on their own without...
I think they need help a little bit at the beginning, and I think they'll be able to, and I think they're going to remember this day. And this was a big day for NATO. You know, this was a very big day. They took it. One of the gentlemen said, you know what? We've been trying to raise money raise the rate for 30 years, he said, 20 years, from almost the beginning. And he's been there for a long time. He said, until you came along, it never happened. What you did is amazing. It's been sort of an amazing day
But do you,
for a lot of reasons, but also for that. Yeah, go
do you
ahead.
think they can do it without you, though, in the future? Can they do it without
Well,
the
ask
United
Mark.
States?
I mean, you have to ask Mark, okay?
Let's look at that one more time because you can clearly see Trump enjoys the attention, and Rubio, who looked bored in other clips, comes to animated life.
I think he likes me. If he doesn't, I'll let you know. I'll come back and I'll hit him hard, okay? No?
But do you
He did it very affectionate. Daddy, you're my daddy.
Do you regard your NATO allies, though, as kind of like children, and they're obviously listening to you and they're spending more, and you're obviously appreciative of that? But do you hope that actually they're going to be able to defend themselves, defend Europe?
Donald Trump just turned another international press conference into a three-ring circus. He could not resist going scorched earth on the media again like a broken record, and this unhinged tirade against CNN, MSNBC, and the New York Times was punctuated with a fairy tale about pilot sadness. And you always know when a lie is coming because he precedes the false recollection of his fake conversation with the word sir. But it got weirder, much weirder. A NATO official referred to Trump as daddy as Donald practically purred and Marco Rubio wagged his tail. It was another awkward and embarrassing moment for the United States, and yet another reminder that Trump treats every world stage as a moment to trot out his random grievances. The world is watching, and Trump and his cast of clowns keeps delivering the cringe. Who here remembers a time not too long ago when we had a dignified statesman representing the U.S. on the world stage, and the only people who called him daddy were Malaya and Sasha, as it should be.